Hi everybody, happy Thursday, Doreen from Door Designs. On today's tutorial, I'm going to be doing an Easter design on a moss wreath base. And the moss wreath base came from Calise.com, and I got these a couple years ago. I stocked up on quite a few back then. And then the sign is a sign that I have in my shop, and it says, "Welcome to our patch." I just did a kit on it on Wreath Kit Wednesday. I think they're sold out, but I'll be putting some more out there. I'm just waiting for some ribbon to come in that I used in my kit. So on my design today, I am going to be using the ribbons I had in the kit, all except for one. One of them is the one that I used by making some extra bows. I thought I had one more roll, but I didn't. So I've got it on order. It should be here, but I'm going to go ahead and do the design with 3 ribbons from the kit. So we're going to kind of play off of kind of like I talked on Wreath Kit Wednesday. With this one, what's nice about it, you could go your ribbons in several different ways. This is kind of a peach orangey color. I don't know, it might show up more pink on the video. And then it's got the navy blue. You've got all the different colors of blues in their jackets. You've got all kinds of dark greenery, light greenery, and all the greenery going around. You've got brown coming down from the gates, and then you've got all your different florals here, and then back in here that you can really play off. And that's what I'm going to kind of play off here, is these florals and the navy blue. So my sign that I have is a 12-inch sign on this base. My kits are typically 8-inch or 10-inch sign. I very seldom do a 12-inch sign in a kit. But the sign is online on shopdoordesigns.com. That is not sold out, just the ribbons are. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in, and I'm going to do my bow first. And I think what I'm going to do is put a nice big bow up here, and then we're going to kind of fill in all the way around it. The other thing I wanted to mention, when you get your bases, 9 times out of 10, they're not perfectly oval or they're not perfectly round. So you need to kind of turn it and see which side works the best. This side worked the best for me. This side's a little flatter, and that's okay, because by the time we get everything filled in, you won't be able to tell that one side's just a little bit flatter than the other. So I am going to start on our bow. And I'm going to use the 2.5-inch burlap one first. And this is the ribbon I use year-round. I get it from Craft Outlet. It's just a very good versatile ribbon. Okay, I'm going to kind of do it where I take some of my tails up instead of having them all come down. So I'm just going to leave about probably 6-inch. Let's see. Yeah, about a 6-inch going up. I'm just going to pull this straight down and back up, make my loop. And we want that about 6-7 inches. And that's just a little bit bigger than what I want. There we go. That's about 7 inches. And then I'm going to twist it and do the exact same thing coming up. Make sure they're even, and they are. So I'm not going to cut this yet. I'm going to leave this still connected, because what I'm thinking of doing is when I put my bow up here, I'm going to leave this side long. Okay, I'm going to come in with my blue, and this blue is a little bit different than what was in the kit. It's a little bit more navy. Another thing, I didn't have enough in my leftover ribbon from my kits. The one in the kit has a little bit lighter, almost a little bit more of a gray color to it. It's going to have the exact same effect, and it was a solid print, or a solid, not print, it was a solid ribbon. So I'm just kind of doing the same thing, making my loops, pinching them in the middle. And I'm just holding them in between my thumb and my first finger. And I think I'm just going to do 2 loops of that also. And then I'm going to come in with my stripe, and it's an orange with greens, with yellows, all different colors going through it. And this is the ribbon that was in the kit. And I'm just going to layer that right on top and then do the exact same thing. Bring it down, back up, make my loop, and twist it. Going to pinch that right in there. And I think I'm going to do 2 loops on each side of my plaid. I'm making my loops just a little bit shorter. I'm starting over with this one. I made my loops too big and I don't want them that big. I want to make my loops just a little bit shorter. There we go, much better. I'm going to zip tie this one. I'm going to put another one in the back, and that's what I'm going to zip tie it to my frame. We're going to zip tie that nice and tight. We're going to trim back our tails a little bit, dovetail them. And I'm just going to kind of take these and kind of make a loop, and I'm going to zip tie those down. And cut that off. So you can see how the ribbons, the blue makes the blue pop, and then you have all the different colors that are in the florals in that striped ribbon. Okay, now let's start playing around with some of our greenery. Okay, I'm going to use a few pieces of this greenery that came from Randolph Mercantile. I think that's where I got it. Yes, this came from Randolph Mercantile, and I think it just looks kind of leafy, kind of outdoorsy, like something a rabbit would nibble on. So I'm just going to use a couple of pieces. What's nice about these moss bases too, it's really easy for your greenery to go through. And then on the back side, you're going to be able to see part of what the stems are coming through, but we're going to fill that in with some more moss to cover up our mechanics. The other thing I did, I forgot to tell you, when I attached my sign, I used my jewelry punch and 2 pieces of wire to attach it. I punched my sign here about 3 o'clock and then down here about 7 o'clock. And I just use a jewelry punch. You can get them at Hobby Lobby, Michael's. Just go to the jewelry section and look for a punch. A couple of you ask what size the punch is. There's no size on it. It's really not going to matter. Just look for a small one because your wire is going to be pretty narrow. You could have used your cable mount with your pipe cleaners and stuff, but to me, I find it easier on the moss just to use a thin wire and to do the hole punch. But either way, like I said, either way will work. Get a couple more pieces here. I'm putting the greenery all around the bow, and I'll show you a close-up here just a minute. I'm dipping the end of each piece of my greenery in my electric skillet that has Gorilla Glue sticks. And I keep the temperature about 350 degrees. And there we have it with the greenery. See, I just took the greenery and kind of went all the way around the bow. So kind of what I've done is I've encased it, and this is how big it's going to be all the way around. If you wanted it to be higher, you would just bring your greenery, make it longer and fuller. Okay, next I'm going to start adding some flowers. I may add a little more greenery towards the end as a filler. I'm going to use this bush. I got this from Babam Wreaths. That's B-A-B-A-M, Amy at Babam. And I'm going to tear it apart, but you'll notice all the different colors in it pretty well match a lot of the colors that are in the background for the florals. So let's start tearing this apart. I lost a little bud here that I'm going to glue right back on. You kind of want to touch each little twig or branch or floral because you want to kind of bring it to life so it's nice and full. I'm going to use my floral pick because I don't want to tear it apart that much and it's going to be too thick to go through the base. So I'm going to pick it and it'll go right back through there. There we go. If I would have torn the flowers down more, they would have gone through it pretty easy, but I didn't want to do that. So once again, pull all your flowers, just kind of move them around. I want to show you a close-up. So I took some of the florals and the greenery on the outer side of the loops of the bow coming down, and then I'm bringing some down because I'm gonna start to soften the top part of where the sign is. So I want some of my florals and greenery to come down. We're just going to kind of make it look like a flower garden up above there. We're going to use this entire piece. A little tangled on that one. It's getting nice and full. I'm going to add some over here on this side. Here's what it looks like with flowers going all the way around for our first go around, and they're still nice and light. There's a lot of movement to it. I'm going to bring a few more pieces down to kind of soften still more of the top of that. We're going to add these beautiful orange flowers. These came from a wholesaler that I buy from. Still might be a little too tall. You want to cut them at an angle so you've got that point. Helps it go through your base. I'm going to bring some down, just kind of like wild flowers. I'm going to put some white, and the white flowers will always kind of brighten up your design. So I've got a few dark spots, I think, so these are going to go in a little bit behind. I try to do them as much as I can without using my pick machine, but when I trim them down like this, they're so soft, it's hard for them to go through the base. Now, if I was using a grapevine base, I would not be using my pick machine because these would go right through it. I see a hole in the back there, so we're going to add one or two more. And then I'm going to show you how we can make it more of an Easter design by adding some carrots. But we're going to not use orange carrots, they're going to be a neutral color. I'm going to cut this one a little bit shorter. And there's how it looks nice and full. There it is from the side, the top. Move some of these glue sticks. Okay, so I have some of these carrots that are just kind of a neutral color. I think I got them at Craft Outlet, but I can't promise you that. I'm going to show you how the carrots just blend in nice without taking away from the design of having the bright orange carrots. I'm going to add one or two more florals. See, this is what happens when you do designs like this. You just kind of want to keep adding and adding. So a lot of times after I finish a design, I'll kind of walk away from it and then come back and make any adjustments. Two more white flowers and then I am done. I promise. Okay, now I am done. Move all this stuff back a little bit. So here is the design, and it's going to be really pretty on the door because when I hold it up here, you can kind of see through a lot, but when it's on your door, you don't really get that same effect. But just look how pretty all the flowers. It just looks like a flower garden that just kind of matches the back of the flower garden on the sign. And see how the carrots, you can see them, but they don't stand out super bright. On this design, I would keep this up well past Easter because it's not really just for Easter. It does say welcome to our patch, but you've got two garden bunnies. The carrots, if you don't want the carrots in after Easter, you can always pull those out. But honestly, I think the carrots look really good on the design. So I'm going to show you the back. So see where you can see like there's a pick there. There's some little sticks coming through. So what I'll do is I'll just take some of my moss. And this is the moss, I just get it from Hobby Lobby. And I'll just kind of take some and fill in where you can see the mechanics of the back of the design. So on this one, I did a pretty good job that you really can't see it, but you can see a little bit right up in here. And then you can see a little bit right there at the top. So I'll fill those in before I ship this one out. And this one is listed in my shop. It's shopdoordesigns.com. So this is just one way you can use a wreath kit. So you would just have to get your own base, but it comes with the sign, with the ribbon, and then you could use any kind of florals or greenery that you wanted. And like I said, on this sign, there's endless possibilities of different ribbons you could use. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me a note. Like I said, everything is on my shop, doordesigns.com. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.